Hi, and welcome to the NBA Economy Show. And yes, the big trade that everybody seems to be talking about, Luka Doncic going to the Los Angeles Lakers. It is all that anybody can talk about today. It kind of came out of nowhere after the Knicks were beaten by the Lakers. Um, just past midnight, everybody got the tweet from Shams, and I think 100% of the people thought Shams got hacked. Like, absolutely, who's playing with his phone? Usually, there's other people reporting the trade at the same time. For a good 5 minutes, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody else was reporting it. Nobody else heard any whispers. It came from nowhere, and a lot of people are calling it the most impactful trade in NBA history from a star player. Um, Luka Doncic, perennial All NBA player, um, top of his game. Like, he is a unique talent. It's not just a good player. We're not talking Anthony Edwards level. We're talking another tier. Like, at 25, he already has a resume that is Hall of Fame level. Even though he hasn't won a championship, his resume is Hall of Fame level right now. Um, and the wild thing about it is that nobody knew. And we always, for the last few years, they said, wait till Luka's available. Everybody's holding all their assets. Wait till Luka's available because everybody's going to be able to put out their best offer, and hopefully you have enough assets. This is something they said about the Knicks. Um, those 5 picks, oh, let's just hold them until Luka's available. And it never went out to bid. That's the weird thing. It never went out to bid. Um, it seems like the Dallas Mavericks were the aggressor. They were the people. They were the people seeking out trade, and they only approached two teams. And it's coming out that the other team that they approached first, and that was the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Milwaukee Bucks, we're not giving up Giannis Antetokounmpo. Um, First of all, it wouldn't have made sense. I know Luka's a great player, but Luka would not be sitting in Milwaukee and being loyal like Antetokounmpo. So it made no sense because as soon as he got there, Luka will be looking for a way out. That's why you don't do. That's why Milwaukee isn't stupid enough to do something like that. They couldn't keep him. They didn't. They don't have enough to keep him. They ain't got no assets to surround them with anything, and the city just isn't one of those elite cities. Come to find out, Luka knew nothing about this trade. Uh, we see that AD knew nothing about this trade. This seemed what is even worse. Jason Kidd knew nothing about this trade until it was done. And that seems malpractice. Like when this trade, if this trade doesn't result in a championship, wow, this is one of those what ifs. 30 for 30. You can start lining those shows up for this because it looks bad because if you would have put it out to bid, if you just want the best offer, they I am sure that another team would have offered easily 5 picks, first round picks, or even more for Luka. Basically, outside of maybe 10 players in the NBA, most people they could have pretty much gotten everybody. And the funny thing is that AD was targeted. AD, who was going to turn 32 years old, traded for a 25-year-old with a better resume. AD, who has a lot of injury issues, traded for Luka Doncic, and that's what makes it so hard to wrap your head around. And they're going to be talking about this week. Um, is this trade the end? I don't think this trade is the end for either team. I think with the Lakers, they've been playing LeBron AD last few years with this whole setup. They've tried to surround them with better players, but now you put Luka Doncic and LeBron James, who play similarly. They like to have the ball in their hands. They're both playmakers. They kind of play similarly. They both, de facto point guards. Um, so where does that leave them? I at first I'm like, great for them. Maybe they add a couple more pieces, but you're telling LeBron, LeBron's the person who's going to have to adjust here because he's not the number one now. Like LeBron, for the first time in his career, is the complementary piece for the first time. So now you're saying, Luka, you're number one, and LeBron, you find a way to fit in. I think there's a possibility that he'll be traded, but LeBron, when he's talking, LeBron is telling people he's not pushing for the trade. So if he is traded, it looks like it's the Lakers looking out for themselves for a trade. I'd be I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved. I absolutely would not be surprised. I'm just gonna go and look at some of the chat. Andios, NYK, you're everywhere, bro. You're everywhere. Um, Thank you. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you're watching the podcast. If you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. Um, the NBA won this trade, I feel like, as well. What is funny about this? At first, I saw it was shocking, and the other thing I thought of the Chris Paul trade, where a trade made absolutely no sense, and then David Stern came through and vetoed it. This is one of those trades. Like, if David Stern was the commissioner, I think he might veto it because it just shifts the power so drastically, and the exchange pieces are it's so off. So it's a wonder that it stood. This is malpractice. Yep, the NBA is crazy. So we're gonna kind of, most of this channel, a lot of Knicks fans. So what does this trade mean to the Knicks? Well, the Lakers need a front court piece, not just a small forward. Not They need a power forward or a center. If the Knicks are looking to move on from Mitchell Robinson, basically we're chasing the same people, like the same players we are looking at. Like recently, we heard the Knicks inquired about Boucher. We inquired with the Wizards. The same players. So does that mean the price has gone up? I think there's competitions for the same players. I think definitely power forward or center for the Lakers. Jeremy Grant comes to mind if they can make the salaries work. Vucevic comes to mind because they are terribly unbalanced at this time. So those are the type of players I think they should be looking at. They have a little bit more money to play with because they have some movable pieces that aren't untouchable. The Knicks kind of have, 4 or 5 players that are just kind of untouchable, and every other salary is hard to cobble together. Let me look in this. If they're going to trade him at first to Milwaukee, does that mean that Giannis is on the table? Actually, it means that Giannis isn't on the table because Dallas went with Dallas was telling basically had a package that's like, hey, we'll give you Luka for Giannis, basically, and Milwaukee said no. Milwaukee is good to say no because if they got Luka, they couldn't keep him. Like Luka would be, I'd give Luka the rest of the year, and then this summer, Luka would be acting up. Um, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look. We're gonna look a little bit at the of both teams, and we see that the Mavericks still Kyrie Irving, Quentin Grimes, Dwight Powell, Dante Exum, Spencer Dinwiddie, and the players of multiple years, and then you add AD to this team. They are a well with AD here. They are a well-rounded team. Um, Decent bench. The thing here, I think, you're kind of looking for like a third impact piece. Here. So could they find, you know, a Cam Johnson? Could they find? Could they find someone who's going to make an impact? Um, but they're going to be a very good team. I think they probably put themselves in a contender category. But in the West, there's probably contenders, 4 real contenders. So I think that's gonna work well for them. With the Lakers, um, it's amazing that they didn't have to give up Austin Reeves. They still have their most valuable first, which is 31. But at the same time, that 31 pick was valuable, was extremely valuable because people thought after LeBron left that the Lakers are going to fall off. So they thought the Lakers are going to fall off, they thought that those later picks were going to be very valuable. But now you've inserted Doncic, so that fall off may not happen at all. So that 31 pick is no longer like a golden piece. It's just a very good pick or a questionable pick. So that whole that pick has lost value. Um, so probably what they were looking at before, trading a couple pieces early in the year. They were talking about Trey Young and stuff. That isn't gonna get that isn't gonna do that anymore. That isn't that valuable anymore. Um, let's go look at that again. Okay. Yeah, so they kept Dalton Neck. All these players are still here. I really do think they are going for a versatile power forward, even though they have Dorian Finney-Smith, a Jerry Smith, um, also from Chicago, Vucevic would make a lot of sense here. Okay, so that's it, kind of it for. I just want to. How does this kind of shift the league? Um, I think it shifts the league. I think it. I think it kind of prompts an arms race because Lakers are always going to thrive. Um, now people aren't expecting the Lakers to fall off. And I think a lot of teams are going to look at it like we should be all in this year, because you have OKC number one in the West for now, but for the next few years, everybody thinks OKC is a dynasty. So if you think OKC is a dynasty, you may want to go this year and look at it like now or never. And I think um, you look at teams like Golden State, uh, which before this trade, you looked at Golden State and it's like, oh, we have a puncher's chance. Let's just see. Let's not go all in, but we have a puncher's chance. If you're Golden State, not only are you not a contender, you don't have a puncher's chance against Luka and LeBron. You don't have a puncher's chance. You almost have to. If you're Golden State, you're gonna trade everything. Trade everything. Um, and try to make it work this year, or you tear it down. Like, don't even try. If 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 you don't think you're gonna make it, trade Steph. Restart now. Restart now, or trade all your picks. Use your young players to get something more immediate. Um, would you do something risky, like calling up Miami? I think it really could prompt them to look at Butler, or yeah, I think it really could prompt them to look at Butler, or stay pat in the summer, make some hard decisions. I don't think they can tear it down in 4 days, but I think what you do is you do nothing, and then this summer you make the hard decisions. Um, at the Knicks are trying to get through the East, so Boston is their main target. But I think if you're the Knicks, you I'm not sure what you do. I think this makes the Mitchell Robinson question more urgent. I don't think you can wait till Thursday and worry about Mitchell Robinson. I think it's if you want to move Mitchell Robinson, you do it ASAP. You do it on Monday morning instead of wait till Friday, because the Lakers are targeting the same guys you are, and you can't wait, because if you have your eyes on something, the Lakers can swoop in with their 2031 pick and take the guy you want. So I think it kind of makes it a little urgent for the Knicks. That's kind of all I had for the Luka stuff. I do want to get back on, maybe later on tonight, but definitely tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow I will be on to talk more Knicks stuff. I'm gonna go through all the scenarios. I put out like 11 scenarios. Probably 4 of them are still doable. And then we'll go over like, you know, articles from the Athletic. We'll go through all that. If you have any questions, or you want to bring up to the next podcast, throw it in the chat. Or if you're watching the video and it's not live, throw a comment at the bottom. That'll be good. Please support. Please like, subscribe, share. Also, I do have the little Cash App. If you want to send it to the show to keep the show going, buy assets, just keep everything going. It's kind of expensive hobby to do Knicks content, but anything helps. I thank everybody for joining in, and please join Nick of Time show. They do have a Discord. All the post games, may not be on the post game, but I am definitely in the chat. Um, Also, Blorange Tears. Uncle Freezy is very generous and allows me to get on whenever I want. So I will see you guys on there as well. So thank you for joining. Any questions, drop it in the chat, and I will see you soon.